and welcome to Flavours of Ulster.
We'll not only be showing you the origins of our fabulous produce here in Northern Ireland, we'll be giving you a few recipes as well. We're also delighted to come into the kitchen where we're joined by Chef Callum Irwin
as we find diverse and delicious flavours of Ulster. Welcome to Flavours of Ulster from a very windy Limavady here at Benone Mountain. Today we're visiting a farm just on the outskirts of the town. It's famous for a hoard of gold. The Kane family, they farm the land to produce the world famous Broighter Gold rapeseed oil. So we are here now, nestled beneath Benone Mountain, cozied up inside in the beautiful countryside outside on the farm. And I'm joined now by Leona Kane. Leona, Broighter Gold rapeseed oil at this stage is world famous, but for anybody perhaps that maybe doesn't have an idea, give us a little insight into what we've got going on here. This is where the magic happens.
Eve, you're very welcome here to Broighter Gold. We're a small family farm. Broighter Gold started around 14 years ago. There's a wealth of history behind that to start with, which we'll go into more detail later on. We started off pressing rapeseed oil on our farm by accident. It was never planned. So at the same time we were renovating our farmhouse, we had just installed our range cooker. We had no olive oil, which we had always used instead of lard or cooking fat. And Richard brought me up some of the rapeseed oil that he had pressed to make the biodiesel. And I thought, oh my word, it's going to ruin our first 2 steaks that we ever put in this cooker. But it was a smell, it was completely different. It was so fresh and it didn't smell like it was burning, which I didn't realise that's what the olive oil was doing before in the pan. So we cooked the 2 steaks and we joked that night that it was the best 2 steaks we ever had. And we were married for quite a few years at this stage, so it wasn't a good sign. And we ended up joking and saying, well, that's our Broighter Gold. And that's how we started 15 years ago.
To be honest, most people would think, right, a great steak, great idea with the oil, and leave it there. But Leona, you have a business head on you. And, you know, you're surrounded by the beautiful land. You're inspired by that. It obviously inspired you to take it forward.
The vision was there to have my own business, and I always wanted to do that. But it was actually taking something from the farm that Richard was growing, that we could see the food being made here from the farm, and we could actually send it away to our customers. But it wasn't until we started to hear people's reviews and what they were saying about the oil that it was completely different to other rapeseed oil they had tried before. Because rapeseed oil had a really bad press for a long time, where, you know, it was growing wrong, it was GM. In other countries, it actually was banned. So for us, we were growing now a single variety seed that we had developed and wanted to use. That one single family seed, make sure that it's planted all the time on our farm and not actually outsourcing it. We weren't bringing it in from a mill. The seed,
you had full control.
We
over
had
it.
everything that we were able to say, well, I know where that field is, I know who pressed it, what date it was pressed, and this is now going onto your table. To have that traceability, people really want that these days, and it's something that I feel really passionate about. But the other thing was as well that by adding in the environmental side of things, we can actually say, well, we're doing this on the farm, we're growing wildflower, we have the bees on the farm, we have everything else. So it was the whole package of giving somebody something healthy in a bottle that they know that they're actually going to enjoy.
Now, we are standing here in this beautiful old pigsty. Used to be a pigsty, believe it or not. We have awards all along the wall. You have certificates everywhere. I mean, the hard work is starting to pay off. There must be a sense of achievement in that.
It's great. We went out the very first year that we launched our product, and we went to KTEX and IFEX up in Belfast and then down to Dublin. We ended up winning overall product of the show and best marketing, and that's what really set us going along with the...
Was it a shock? Did you just think, you know, you were doing this because you enjoyed doing it and you wanted to do it? You weren't really in it to win so much? Oh, you were.
Well,
I'm
slightly
competitive.
competitive.
The secret side.
No, I was
You
always
wanted
in
to
it
make
win.
the best. Yeah.
We always really wanted to ensure that we were doing the best that we could. So
Yeah.
anything that we kind of take from the farm, you always want to make sure that you're doing the best you can for your customers.
Richard, we're standing here on your farm. Beautiful, beautiful scenery all around us. It's a big farm you have here. What size? I mean, what acreage have you here?
We have 400 acres in this square around the farm here, and then we rent another bit of ground, similar ground up and behind the airport.
There's a long line of farmers that have come before you with that bloodline as well. So how long have you been farming here?
Well, I've been farming here, unfortunately, about 30 years. I'm seventh generation on this farm, and that's nice to keep it going, but sometimes the weather would make you think.
Seventh generation, I mean, you've a connection there to the land, without a doubt.
There is, that's been a long stand here. This ground we're all standing on is close to sea level. It's all reclaimed, so that's nice to keep it going.
Now, talking about reclaimed, the Broighter Gold hoard, I mean, it sounds like something you would read in a book, but to have it here on the farm, tell us a wee bit more about that.
In 1896, the Broighter Gold was found in this farm. It was ploughed up, called a process double ploughing, so they were a bit deeper with a horse, and they ploughed up this leather satchel, and they found the Broighter Gold is one of the largest gold hoards ever found in Ireland.
What exactly was included in the satchel?
There was a lovely torque. It was badly damaged, and the star of the show was basically a gold boat with oars, which is so fragile it can barely move. And there was a few chains and ornaments, so it was fairly significant.
And the boat itself, not really from this part of the world, was it?
They reckon it could have been made around 2,500 years ago. And the gold wasn't local. There's two stories whether it was hidden for the Viking raids coming into the northwest, or it was given to the gift to the gods, and it actually went to court with the governments in London, actually.
You didn't win yourself. It's not still here on the farm.
No,
I take it.
Unfortunately not. I've been out with a metal detector, but it's down in Dublin Museum now, and it's one of their pride and places.
So what did they have to do with the satchel? I mean, I can imagine if you've just found a bag of gold, the last thing you want to do is hand it over.
Well, that's what the ploughman did. He handed it over to the farm owner at the time, and he then I think sold it to a jeweller in Derry. So there's a whole history in that.
Leo and I'm really looking forward to seeing the press, but as we're walking towards it, it's a history room. It's like an interactive history room almost. You know, the history of the products, the tools, but most importantly, you've got a visible history.
Well, this is all part of the Economusée network. We were asked to be part of it. So we are the second UK Economusée, teaching people about the Broighter Gold, but then about our own history over the last few years. We can talk about it as well. And then at the end, there's somewhere for them to taste and actually buy it at the end as well.
You can actually see pictures. You have displayed pictures of it up here. You can see around as well, and here, you know, this is visual. You can actually see what was found on the land here.
Well, our first ever oil came out of the golden field, which is this field here where the gold was found, which was actually just by coincidence that we had planted oilseed that year, and then we got the ball rolling of getting the branding up and getting everything started. So the first batch of oil came out of the golden field, which was fantastic. But you'll see my row is completely flat. You know, it's very, very flat. It's very, very fertile, which is it's all reclaimed land. So
I was going to say any farmer's dream, looking at land like that.
well, it's any farmer's dream when the sun's shining, but it gets pretty wet here too, so it does.
I mean, you're integrated into the community here. People feel part of it as well.
We're very lucky that we want to be part of the community as much as we can. As we grow, we hope to be more in the community, but as a small family business, you can only do so much. But it's nice that we're used, it's nice that people want to use us, and hopefully we'll develop that over the years.
the land, it's more than finding gold, finding treasure. You get your living from the land. Barley and wheat. I mean, barley and wheat, a huge percentage of arable crops in Northern Ireland. About 80% is it usually around barley and wheat?
Yes. And then
How many acres would you have here on the farm?
yeah, we've about 600 acres of barley and wheat, and then another 150 of oilseed. And then we've started carrots within the last
Yeah.
4 years as well.
I love the sound of all of that. But talking about the barley and wheat, I mean, now we can make so many things with the barley and wheat, and so many different breads, beers, everything's so popular. But back in the day, I mean, what traditionally would it have been used for, the barley and wheat?
Barley would have probably been just animal feeds back then, and the wheat would have been probably used for breads and animal feed as well, for certain animals like the higher protein in wheat.
Well, the thing about it is as well, you talked there a wee bit about the weather, and, you know, people have to diversify. And in a way, you have diversified more than most people by taking on the Broighter Gold rapeseed oil as well.
Yeah, we just try and have crops ready at different intervals throughout the supposed summers, from July till September, to try and spread the risk, and that'll keep everything moving.
This kind of shows you the story. So you sow it usually August, and then it grows. Combine goes in, you get the seed, the drying sheds, which we haven't seen any of those. It gets pressed and then bottled from there. So that's the process of it.
Brilliant. Oh, that's the pellets then for the animal feed, is it?
So that's the pellets. So this is actually the seeds here. So it's just tiny wee black seeds. They're like peppercorns, and that's what we actually press. There's about 30% oil content inside that.
Oh,
well, there's about 40%. We take about 30% out, and that's what the press does whenever it's cold pressing.
oh, so that is where the name comes from, cold press.
Yeah. The oil goes in through the wall, and the cake comes out the front, and the cake
Wow.
goes for high protein animal feed. So it would go for cattle or be mixed in with hen feed and things like that, because oil seed is actually really good for the yolk and the eggs. Who knew?
There you go. Who knew? So Richard, we've moved now from the barley and wheat to the carrots. I'm loving the look of these carrots. This is a huge field you have here. How many acres would you have of carrots on the farm?
In total, we have about 35 acres of carrots. We just started 4 years ago.
Oh, so it's kind of new to you then?
Very new, yep. The first day of COVID, I bought some carrot machinery just to keep us busy.
Keep you busy. And how have you noticed the difference then between, say, the harvesting of carrots and something you would have been really familiar with the barley and wheat, the harvesting of it?
That's one of the reasons why I went into it, because it really ties in well with, once the barley harvest's finished, we start into carrots. It means we can keep employment full time and keep the machines moving in the winter time, because the barley, we don't do anything for barley in the winter time. So like the oil, it's a health thing, and the carrots, they're all good. There's nothing bad about a carrot so far.
Well, the thing is, we're all spending that much money on supplements and, you know, making sure we eat the right this and that. You've something there in your hand. I mean, you've got your vitamins A, your K, your E. You're talking about your bone health, your eye health, you know, even your skin, you know?
Yeah, no,
that's why farmers all look so, you know, young and...
eyesight. So no, they're, as I say, they have a great healthy profile, and it's an easy sell.
Well, Eve, would you like to try some?
Absolutely. I won't say no. I think it is calling my name. Right, so this is the hickory.
This is the hickory. So
Okay.
it's lovely and smoky, but it's great for the barbecue, or it's lovely for meat. We have a lot on social media actually who use and promote this one.
That I can just taste a summer, if we had a summer barbecue with this one. It's really smoky, but not too smoky.
The other one that we've just
Delicious.
won is the 3 stars for our pure liquid gold through the Great Taste Awards, which oils don't normally win awards, especially in the oil category. It's quite difficult to win 3 stars. So I'm going to London next week to see, hopefully there might be another award in there, but we don't know.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
So which one is it?
So it's the liquid gold.
This one. Liquid gold. And I love the way you've kept that branding and that idea of the Broighter Gold and that connection to the land as well through the product.
Well, we're from Broighter, the Broighter Road, and obviously the Broighter hoard was one of the largest gold hoards that was ever found. And whenever you've got that history and the connection of it in the fields that you farm, you can't lose that. But people did think that we spelt it wrong. It should be Broighter Gold or different sayings, but
No.
Broighter Gold.
Perfect. I'm going to try another wee bit of this
Yeah, go
hickory,
ahead.
actually. Delicious. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome.
We're now inside. We've been hearing all about this amazing product and probably one of our, underappreciated industries when we're talking about fisheries and seafood. And we are surrounded by the sea in Northern Ireland. So what a piece of fish we have in front of us, Callum. Gorgeous.
Beautiful side of salmon here. Yep, it's from Glenarm. I'm up the Antrim East Coast there. We're very blessed to have so many good seafood products. We've also got this dish with a langoustine bisque. So we've got our langoustine shells from Portavogie, normally a waste product, but we've utilised it into a beautiful ingredient. Got another lovely local product. So we've got the Broighter Gold oil, which will pair beautifully with our salmon. I'm just about to pick my last couple of bones out here, Eve.
Now, if you've a really good fishmonger,
Yes.
you don't have to worry too much about this. But I mean, you just kind of keep a wee eye.
Yes, well, we don't want to get any bones in our dish, so you can see the kind of the run here, the little fat, so that's where the bones normally stay. I'll always just run my thumb along there, make sure I'm not getting spiked, and I think at this stage I've got them all, which is great.
Fabulous. So what are we having with the salmon?
So today we have Glenarm salmon. I'm just going to pan fry it, run it through the oven, finish with a wee bit of butter and lemon. We've got local potatoes, which I have boiled, crushed down with a bit of dill, chive, shallot, lemon zest, and a wee bit of olive oil. We also have bisque, which I've had cooking for about 24 hours. Bisque is a sauce derived from langoustine shells. As I say, normally a waste product, but when utilised correctly and when you know what to do, it can be very, very tasty. And I'm just going to finish it off with a little bit of dressed shaved fennel. I'm just going to take off this wee bit of belly because we don't normally use this fatty part. We can utilise this waste product in the likes of a fish stock or something, Eve.
Okay, so you just put that in a stock.
Yep, and you could do it with any fish trim. You make a stock. You have your mirepoix vegetables. So mirepoix vegetables is your four sort of mother vegetables. It's your onion, leek, celery, and carrot. Same four vegetables went into the bisque at the start. We'll boil it up with a bit of lemon, fennel, and then you can use a stock to maybe make a sauce or a beurre blanc or a fish soup or something like that. We have just got a little bit of a plain oil, so it's a vegetable oil in there. You never cook with a olive oil at the start. Too much flavour in it, so you always cook with neutral oil. Put the salmon away from yourself so we're not getting burnt, and then just season it up. And as you say, you can smell it. Our bisque is near enough.
Yeah, I think
finished.
maybe the bisque as well.
I want to give that a wee stir.
I think sometimes people might be a bit scared, including myself, when it comes to making a bisque. But it's just really about the layers, is it? And the different, it takes a long time.
It does take a long time. The cooking process is key, and it's important that they understand that. So as I said earlier, you start off with the mirepoix vegetables. You roast your langoustine shells in the oven. It gets brandy and vermouth and a little bit of water, and then you just let that boil down, and it produces you a lovely stock. Now I've knocked this stock back with lemon juice, a wee touch of cream, and this is what we've came to.
It smells delicious. Now these look gorgeous as well.
I'm just making sure nothing's bubbling over here.
Yeah. Smells delicious. Absolutely gorgeous.
And just flip this up for you, Eve, so you can see the colour in that skin.
Yes.
So we're starting to achieve a nice golden brown colour. And you can see the way that the white is starting to work its way up. So I think we're at oven time. I think about 8 minutes should do it, Eve.
8 minutes.
Yeah, I don't like to overcook my fish, so.
That's the thing. People always say, you can overcook fish very quickly.
You can.
And just change the texture, change everything about it.
Yeah, so you can turn it into a very rubbery eat.
I think though, people here in Northern Ireland, we're becoming a wee bit more educated on what we have, and we're not shipping it out as much, perhaps. We're actually starting to enjoy a wee bit more of our own products.
Yeah, definitely. I think in the last 10, 15 years, the food scene in Northern Ireland came on leaps and bounds. Obviously, we have 2 Michelin stars there in Belfast, and we have at least a dozen Michelin guides across the country. 15 years ago, you might have only had 1 or 2, So it's commendable to how far the food scene in Northern Ireland has came on.
Talking about Michelin stars, I mean, that's a tough world to be part of. That takes a lot.
It does. It's intense. It takes up a lot of your time, but if you enjoy your trade like I do, it's worth it. I worked in the Muddlers Club for 3.5 years. I was there whenever Gareth and the team got their star. You know, Michelin comes in 3 or 4 times a year. They'll come in, check out your menu, make sure you're being consistent, and it's everything down to the first person opening the door and greeting you to the very last tip of wine you get in your glass. So it's across the board. It's not just the cooking, it's everything. So as I said, it's fantastic to see Northern Ireland with such a great range of the guys who are on Michelin.
So what about our salmon? How do we know when it's ready?
I'm going to check it now. I think we're there.
Good. Smells yum.
It does. So a telltale is always, you can see the white spots coming out the side, Eve?
Yes.
So that's your protein coming out.
Okay.
So that normally means your fish is over 65 degrees, which is cooked. I'll always go by touch. I can feel that's a little bit buoyant in the middle, which is great because I don't want it, as I said earlier, overcooked. So at this stage, I'm just going to flip that over. And look at that skin,
delicious.
beautiful. Very, very nice. Add a little bit of butter. So you never,
More butter.
anytime you're cooking anything, again, you always start with an oil, finish with the butter. Butter will burn.
Okay. And so the butter, it's just for flavour?
Yeah, just for flavour, to finish it off in the palate. Always a little squidge of lemon. But I'm just basting that here. Look at the shine on the skin, beautiful.
Wow. And you're basting it again for flavour, for colour?
Just to finish the cooking process, yeah.
Okay.
You can see the shine there. The skin's beautiful, very, very nice. And what I'll do is I'll just switch that off at this point and just let it rest.
Do you let it rest like you would let beef and meat rest?
Yeah, so there's certain proteins you wouldn't, but I think with salmon, it all tightens up in the cooking process. So you just want to let it settle down a wee bit.
And in the pan is okay to let it settle?
In the pan is fine, yeah. As I said, the pan's off, so there's not an awful lot of heat. We don't want it to be going cold at the same time. You could take it off and put it on a rack or something, but I don't think there's any real need for that. Just a bisque on the bottom. And then next up will be the potatoes, salmon, and finish it with a little bit of the fresh fennel. It smells so good, that.
It does. The bisque smells amazing, actually. Beautiful. And the potatoes, remind us what's in the potatoes again?
So they're just local baby boiled potatoes. They're boiled off. Crushed them down, added a little touch of olive oil, dill, raw diced shallot, 1 garlic grated into it, some chive, salt and pepper. And then the salmon will go on top of there.
Now, it is a real personal thing, isn't it, whether people eat the skin or not?
Yes, but I think the likes of salmon, because the skin can be so dry, you would eat it. Whereas the likes of halibut, because it's a flat fish, it's very, very tough because the skin's used so much. So I would always take it off a salmon. A halibut. And then
This is lovely. So what's this? Remind us
just
what
a
this
little bit
is?
of shaved fennel, so a little bit of olive oil, lemon juice, and salt on there, and that'll just give it a little bit of bite to the dish and a little bit of freshness. And I think we're good to go. That looks great.
And that's us?
Yep, lovely.
This looks just delicious. I have to say, I don't know what to start with first.
No, I think just dive in.
Just tuck in. Just tuck in. Oh my word. That is just delicious. And the flavours are just gorgeous. Okay, I'm going for the salmon now. And the bisque is beautiful as well.
Thank you.
It's not heavy,
No,
you know, and it just fits perfectly with it. And it is so fresh. And the salmon tastes like salmon. It's not masked by the bisque. It's
see
really
the way the salmon's just
complements it.
flaking apart there as well. That's when you know your cook's pretty good.
That's when you know, yes, when the chef has done a good job.
Yes, thank you.